His breath reached the back of my neck before his hands ever dared to touch me. That breath alone, warm, slow, intentional, felt like a question I shouldn't answer. But I leaned into it anyway. We stood too close for two people who had promised the world to two different partners. The hallway light behind us flickered like it understood our guilt before we even committed it. And when his chest brushed my shoulder, when his lips hovered close enough for me to taste his hesitation, I felt my entire body betray every vow I ever made. He whispered my name, soft, deep, forbidden. I swear the sound of it made my knees weaken. Before anything more could happen, before desire could swallow us whole, I turned my face slightly toward the camera in my mind, the one I use for these confession videos, and I breathed out. Before I tell you what happened next, please, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on your notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss where this story goes. Because this is not just a story. This is the moment everything in my life shifted. It started 3 months ago. I never meant to meet him that day. I was only at the downtown co-working lounge because my office renovation ran longer than expected. I walked in tired, frustrated, and married, to a man who had no clue I was slowly fading out of our home with each silent night he gave me. The lounge was cold, busy, and packed with strangers typing their lives away. But he was the first person who looked at me like I still existed. He sat across the room, dressed in navy blue, leaning over his laptop with brows knitted in concentration. Every few minutes he glanced around like he was searching for something. Or someone. The moment his eyes landed on me, it felt like he'd been searching for me all along. I looked away immediately, married woman instinct. But my heart stayed right there, stuck under his gaze. Minutes later, he approached. "Is this seat taken?" he asked. His voice was calm, deep, the kind of voice that knows it shouldn't tempt a woman but does anyway. "No," I said. "You can sit." When he settled beside me, I caught a faint scent, something warm, cedar-like. And beneath it, a sweetness I couldn't name. It wasn't cologne. It felt like him. We exchanged small talk, nothing dangerous at first. Work. Coffee. Weather. Traffic. But somehow, even those ordinary words carried a heat that neither of us admitted. Then he leaned closer to see something on my laptop. Too close. Closer than any man should be to a woman wearing a wedding ring. When his shoulder pressed into mine, when his breath touched my ear, something inside me trembled awake, something I had buried for years under responsibility and routine. I should have pulled away. I didn't. I let the moment breathe. I let myself breathe. By the next week, we were meeting unintentionally on purpose. At the same time. At the same table. With the same excuses. "Oh, you're here again." "Yeah, just working." Crazy coincidence. We both knew it wasn't a coincidence, but lies can be comforting when they feel good. One Thursday evening, the lounge was nearly empty. A storm outside had cleared out most people early. Only the two of us remained. And for the first time, he didn't pretend to be casual. "You look tired," he said gently. "I am," I answered, trying not to let my voice crack. "Do you want to talk about it?" "I shouldn't," I whispered. "I won't judge you." That was the moment, right there, when something in me broke open. Because my husband never asked how I was. Not anymore. This stranger almost felt like home. After an hour of talking, really talking, he walked me to my car. The rain had slowed, leaving streets wet and shining. My hair dampened slightly, sticking to my neck. He lifted his hand. Paused. Then brushed a strand away. And just like that, I was gone. His face moved close, too close. His lips slowed inches from my skin. His breath shook gently against my neck. And I let my eyes close. He didn't kiss me. Not yet. But his breath alone felt like a promise I had no strength to refuse. And that was the moment that drenched me in the moans of everything forbidden. Stay with me, he murmured. I can't, I whispered. You already have, he said. My life changed that night. And this is only the beginning. I should have walked away. I should have left that hallway, that scent of him, that spark in his eyes, that strange magnet pulling me into a place where wives don't belong. But desire has a stubborn memory. And his moans, God, those moans, followed me home like a shadow I didn't invite. Waxing crescent moon when curiosity became the rope that dragged me back. The next day, I woke up pretending nothing happened. Pretending his hands weren't still on my skin. Pretending my breath wasn't still trembling with secrets. I tried to cook breakfast for my husband. My eggs burned. My hand shook. My heart raced like someone was chasing it. Because he invaded every corner of my mind. His voice. His smile. His slow, thick moan that rolled through my body like thunder that never ends. I wasn't supposed to feel that again. But the universe plays dirty. Bombed the text that destroyed my good intentions. At 11:03 a.m., my phone vibrated. One message. Just one. Did yesterday scare you, or did it wake you? My legs went weak. I typed nothing. I deleted my reply twice. Then I made the mistake of reading it again. Or did it wake you? My chest tightened. He knew. He knew I wasn't done. He knew the silence between us wasn't guilt. It was hunger wearing a mask. And I should have blocked him. But instead, I found myself typing. I don't know what it did. He replied instantly. Then let me remind you. My whole body heated like someone lit a candle under my skin. Fire, the forbidden escape that made everything worse. I told myself I was only going to see him for closure. Just to clear the air. Just to make sure what happened wouldn't happen again. But the lie tasted sweet. It slid down easily. I drove to him. My wedding ring felt heavier on my finger with every mile, like it knew the road I was taking. When I stepped inside his apartment, the air felt thick, too warm, too intimate, too ready. He didn't touch me at first. He just looked at me with that slow, sinful smile that said everything I was trying to hide. You came, he said. My voice failed me. My breathing didn't. He walked closer, step by step, and the way he looked at my lips made every nerve in my body lean toward him. Then it happened. His hands cupped my waist. His breath brushed my ear. And the low, deep moan he released into my neck melted every boundary I carried in. It wasn't a moan of pain. It wasn't desperation. It was want. Raw. Unguided. Explosive. And it drenched me from inside out. My knees weakened. My fingers trembled. My lips parted without permission. He whispered. I've been thinking about you all night. And I swear. My whole world tilted. Megaphone mid-chapter break, subscribers call out. Fire. Hey, before I take you deeper into what happened next, don't forget to like this video if you're following my confession. Hit subscribe so you never miss the next chapter. And share this story if it's already giving you chills. Fire. Because trust me. What happened next will shake your breath. Sweat droplets when his moans became the soundtrack of my undoing. He lifted me, pressed me gently against the wall, and kissed me, slow enough to drag heat through my whole body, deep enough to empty everything I thought I understood about myself. His lips traveled. His hands followed. And then he moaned. A sound so deep, so warm, so hungry it felt like it wrapped around me. His moans drenched my resistance. Drenched my excuses. Drenched the thin line that separated who I was from who I was becoming. When he whispered, "You taste like a woman hiding a storm," I lost the little control I had left. Tornado the moment I realized I was too far in. When it was over. Or at least paused. I sat there trembling, trying to catch my breath, trying to gather the pieces of the woman I used to be. But he leaned against the counter, shirt undone, chest rising slowly, eyes heavy. And he let out another quiet moan. And that single sound destroyed whatever rules I had left. Because I wanted more. Because escape became addiction. Because desire doesn't ask for permission, it enters, detonates, and leaves you wanting the explosion again. I left his apartment with shaky legs, messy thoughts, and a heart carrying secrets that would never fit inside a wedding ring. And the worst part? I knew I was going back. I don't know what shocked me more that night. The heat of his hand. Or the fact that I didn't stop him. Because I should have. I should have walked out of that room, locked the door behind me, and remembered that I was married. But instead, I stood there, frozen, trembling, waiting. And when his fingers brushed against mine, slow and teasing, I felt everything inside me tilt. "Look at me," he whispered. I shouldn't have. But I did. His eyes burned like he already knew what I was hiding. That I had been craving something I couldn't define, something dangerously close to him. The room felt too small. The air too warm. My breaths too loud. And then, he took my hand. My whole body reacted, like electricity running straight through my spine. I didn't pull away. I didn't even think. I just let him hold me like he owned the moment, like he knew I wasn't going to resist. "Why are you shaking?" he whispered against my ear. My lips parted, but no words came out. Only a soft, broken sound I didn't mean to let slip. That was when everything changed. His thumb traced my palm. Slow. Controlled. Devastating. My breath hitched. My knees weakened. My thoughts scrambled into nothing but heat and guilt tangled together. And I swear, I felt that forbidden escape creeping into my bones. "You're drenched in your own fear, or is it desire?" he murmured. I swallowed hard. Too hard. Because I knew exactly what he was doing. Pushing me into the fire I pretended I could avoid. "Please," I whispered. "For me to stop?" he asked. I don't know. That was the truth that shook me most. Not the tension. Not the electricity. Not even the way my body answered him before my mind could catch up. It was the confusion. Wanting to run and wanting to fall at the same time. His hand rose slowly from mine to my wrist. Then higher. Then higher. Until I was trembling so much I couldn't hide it anymore. His lips brushed my jaw. Light, dangerous, almost reverent. I let out the softest moan. One that slipped out before I could stop it. And that was the moment I knew. I wasn't just lost, I was drowning. "Say it," he whispered. "Tell me what you're afraid of." "You," I breathed. He smiled. That slow, wicked, heart-pulling smile that said he wasn't planning to let go. "You're not afraid of me," he whispered. "You're afraid of how much you want this." My heart thumped so loud I felt it in my mouth. My guilt pressed into my ribs. But my desire pressed harder. "Tell me to stop," he whispered. I opened my mouth. But nothing came out. Silence. The silence that sealed my betrayal. The silence that let his touch sink deeper. The silence that made my subscribers lose their minds when I first told this story. Because that was the exact moment I lost my control. And the exact moment he took it. I should have walked away. I should have shut the door the moment I saw him standing in that dim hallway, breathing like someone fighting a war inside his own chest. But instead, I stood there, frozen, as if the part of me that knew better had been unplugged from my brain. "Why are you trembling?" he whispered. Not a touch. Not a kiss. Just a voice, rough, low, trembling, and it ruined whatever self-control I had left. If you're watching this video right now, please hit that like button and subscribe, because what happened next, even I can't believe I let myself fall that deep. Because this wasn't just attraction anymore. This was something reckless, something forbidden, something that stretched my sanity until it almost snapped. The moment the world went silent. He didn't come closer. He didn't grab me. No. He just looked at me. And somehow that stare dragged every buried emotion out of me, the loneliness, the secrecy, the ache of wanting something that was never supposed to belong to me. His eyes said, run. His breathing said, stay. My heart said, nothing. Because it was too busy beating fast enough to bruise me from the inside. You're shaking, he said again. I whispered, because this is wrong. He nodded. But he didn't step back. And yet, he murmured, you're still here. That sentence felt like a blade dipped in honey, sweet enough to tempt, sharp enough to wound. The first crack in my control. There are moments in life when your mind wants to choose safety but your emotions choose the fire. That night, the fire won. He stepped closer, one slow, dangerous step. Not touching. Just close enough to steal the air right out of my lungs. If we cross this line again, he said softly, you know there's no going back. I knew. And the fact that he said it only made everything more chaotic. Because it wasn't just desire now. It was guilt. Fear. Longing. A hunger built from every secret we'd been pretending wasn't real. My hands curled around the edge of the wall, as if holding on to something physical could keep me from falling spiritually. You should go, I whispered. You don't want me to, he replied. The honesty, the rawness, the way he didn't pretend. It broke me. The collision of everything we'd been hiding. He finally closed the space between us. Not recklessly. Not aggressively. Just, deliberately. Slow enough for me to stop him. Slow enough for me to say no. I didn't. And that was the real betrayal. Not the secret meetings. Not the stolen moments. Not the tension that lived between us like electricity. The betrayal was how much I wanted it, despite knowing the destruction it would cause. His breath brushed my cheek. His hand hovered near my waist, but didn't touch. The restraint made it worse. More dangerous. More unbearable. If you tell me to leave, he murmured, I will. I closed my eyes. And didn't say a word. Silence. That was my permission. Silence. That was my sin. Silence. That was the moment everything truly spiraled. The aftermath I didn't prepare for. Because chaos doesn't explode in a single moment. It unravels quietly, like a thread pulled from the hem of a dress. The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop vibrating. His messages weren't sweet. They weren't romantic. They weren't reassuring. They were dangerous. We need to talk. I can't stop thinking about last night. This is getting out of control. I don't want to stop. And yet the last one, the one that terrified me most, was the one I read again and again. Whatever we started. I'm not sure I can let it go anymore. That was the moment I realized. I wasn't the only one falling. He was falling too. And that made the entire thing a ticking bomb. Mid-video reminder. If you're still watching, tap like, drop a comment, and subscribe. I always believed endings happened slowly, little cracks, little lies, little warnings that you ignore because the pleasure is too sweet. But that night, everything broke at once. It started with his moans, the same ones that used to drown out my conscience. But when he pulled me close, my body didn't melt. My heart didn't race. Something inside me snapped. Because that night, every lie I told came back to collect its debt. And before I go on, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this confession. Because what happened next? Even I still don't know how I survived it. The truth I could no longer run from. He whispered my name like he owned it. But I heard something different this time. Possessiveness. Obsession. Danger. I told myself it was romance. I told myself it was passion. But in that dim room, his hands gripping my waist, his breath hot on my skin, I finally saw it for what it was. He was never my escape. He was my mistake growing teeth. And the lies I fed to keep our world alive began suffocating me. I lied to my husband. I lied to myself. I lied to him. Especially to him. Because he believed I loved him. He believed I would leave my life for him. He believed he was my future. And that night, the lies stopped being lies. They became weapons. The guilt that broke me open. When he kissed me, something inside me recoiled. Not because it wasn't good. God knows it was too good. But because I realized I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't recognize the woman who sneaked out. Who whispered promises she didn't mean. Who melted under moans that controlled her instead of freeing her. The guilt that I buried with pleasure finally rose like a storm. I pushed him away. For the first time ever. He didn't follow my movement with desire. He followed it with suspicion. The moment he discovered the truth. Who is he? He asked. My stomach dropped. What are you talking about? I whispered. You've been distant, he said. Oh, you've been distant, he said. You don't breathe the same when you're with me. Someone else is in your head. He was right. My husband. My guilt. My fear. My reality. I didn't answer. And silence is louder than confession. His chest rose. His jaw tightened. His eyes changed. Then he said the words that split my soul. You used me. The danger I didn't see coming. He stepped back, but not because he was hurt. He stepped back because he was angry. No. Because he was unhinged. You're not leaving, he said. Not like this. Not after everything. My heart pounded. My palms shook. For a second, I thought I wouldn't make it out. I grabbed my purse. My keys. My courage. And I ran. I didn't stop until I was in my car, my hands trembling on the wheel, my chest burning like I had swallowed fire. His silhouette stood at the window, watching me escape. Watching me take back my life. Watching the fantasy collapse. The fabrication that saved me. I couldn't tell him the truth. I couldn't tell my husband. I couldn't tell the world. So I told you. My subscribers. You became my confession booth. My escape. My safe place. Every video, every story. Everything I shared was the only way I could breathe again. You made my voice louder than my fear. You made my pain part of something bigger. And that's how this whole thing became the wildest confession I ever posted. The ending I never expected. I still hear his moans sometimes. Not in memory of pleasure. But as a reminder of the danger I almost drowned in. I am anonymous. I am unseen. But I am alive. And this chaos, this truth, this confession, is me finally choosing myself. So if you're listening till now, hit that like button. Subscribe for more raw stories. Share to someone who needs a wake-up call. Because this wasn't just betrayal. This was survival.